dragging the name as if as if you can remember. I know it's our first induction in the year, so no wahala. We've been together for a while. Whether you pronounce it well or not, I know. We are all Nigerians. No trouble about that. So, good evening, our distinguished members, doctoral fellows, and members, associates, graduates. You're welcome to the first induction for the Institute this year. And we make you welcome. Please feel free. We are here for you. And even after the induction, you become full members of the Institute. There's so many benefits that you can reap from the Institute. So feel relax as we go on our journey together this evening. Then tomorrow morning, we will also have the induction proper. So I know we are about 100 on the beat. So thank you, my national coordinator. I want to start sharing my slides, and we'll see what we can do with that. So this evening I hope you can see my slide. If you can, the first slide will open up now. If you can, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up so that I'll know that I'm talking to my people and not AI. Because nowadays there's so many AIs out there. If you can hear me and you can see my slide, give me a thumbs up. I can see 15 people or 16 moving up. Very good. Very good. So that means if this people, Appa Rosemary Stella Adeleke, Tyne Bob Manuel, thank you. Ajayi Olua, oh, that's okay. This is fire hand, thumbs up. This is interesting. Thank you so very much. Now I know that I'm being seen and heard. So thank you. So what do we want to talk about this evening? Most times when we get on the beat, we have issues with so many people. Some people would think that it is the HR that has issues, or they are the ones that have issues. What we are going to talk about, something that cuts across every sphere of HR, as well as the people that we are managing for the organization. So that is why we are going to talk about this topic. And that topic is your attitude determines your leadership style. I always tell people that when you have this, what we call no grief for them attitude, what would be your leadership style? That is a question that you are going to answer in the course of don't give me the answer now. When you have no grief for them attitude, what will be your leadership style? Please ruminate over that and we'll talk about it later. So I've been introduced, and you get this in the course of our slide. Oh, let me make this a light presentation as we start. You see the picture down there. I'm sure you can see the immediate past Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, and GCON. And you will see I shook his hand sometimes. Since that time, I've not washed his hand. I have not washed. So please tap into the anointing that even if it is not Oshibaju, you get to meet somebody out there that will make a difference in your life. So tap into the anointing. I'm sharing it freely. So what are we going to talk about this evening? And that is, we are talking about, let's unpack the agenda. The agenda for today, your attitude determines your leadership style. So what we are going to talk about is we're going to examine organizational culture. There are different cultures out there, different organizations, different cultures. Defining leadership style, understanding what we mean by corporate bones, serve. Attitude defined, the role of attitude in leadership competency matrix. Where are you on that matrix? Strategies for developing a positive leadership attitude, the takeaway, and we'll discuss. If you have the time, we'll be able to discuss. If not, keep your questions for tomorrow and we will take them tomorrow. If you feel, oh, I want to go and rest, and some of us are probably preparing for and bed tomorrow, and you now say, please, let's get this done with. So let's quickly move on. Your attitude determines your leadership style. How can I determine the culture of an organization? Remember, we said we're talking, starting with the culture of organization. What is the importance of leadership in Nigeria corporate setting? People talk of governance, people talk of that, people talk whatever it is, there is leadership. Those people that are the ends of affair, what do they do? What are they doing? So what is the influence of company culture? The impact of company culture on employee engagement and productivity. Then what role do we have in navigating local and global challenges? I'm sure we have so many examples out there that we want to see what we can do in order to use the culture to bring about a change in our attitude and whatever we are doing. So, did somebody say volume? Volume is on your side, not mine. I'm sure people can hear you. I can't hear anything. Okay, let me see what's happening. If you can't hear me, let's see what's happening. Let me see. I should be sharing. Let me see. Share, share sound. I don't know. I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, I don't know why. I can't hear anything. Someone said I can't hear. Volume, please. The volume is very clear. Thank you. It's from your head, loud and clear. Thank you. Audio is good, please. Thank you. We can hear you. We can hear you. So those who cannot hear me, kindly check your audio. Kindly check your audio because you got me panicking that maybe I'm the one. Okay. Thank you. Okay, lovely. No, it's not me. Those who can't hear. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I'm rest assured that I'm already sweating that people can't hear me and I've just been talking to myself. Thank you so much. So let's quickly go back to this slideshow. So let me go back to that. So what do we mean by the role of navigating local and global challenges? You know that nowadays organizations don't operate in a vacuum. If we don't operate locally, we'll operate internationally. And for crying out loud, AI has come to stay. Whatever you do in the closet of your organization can be reflected in other places and without even you giving them the opportunity to ask you. So what do we mean by organization and corporate culture? It has been defined in several ways, several ways. It's a system of informal rules that spell out how people are to behave. Behavior and attitude are linked to behave most of the time. Okay, informal. This is how we do it here. Nobody it's not written down. Only very few are written. So only very few are written. So it's a unique configuration of norms, values, beliefs, and ways of behaving that characterize the manner in which groups and individuals combine to get things done in the organization. When you find yourself in a new organization as HR, they say, oh, this is how we do it. This is our culture. But the culture you are coming with, it may not be the same, may not be the same with the ones that you are going to meet. So these are some of the things that you have to be inside of it to be able to partake of it and be able to express and give it out to those you are managing. So it's a collective programming of the mind, which distinguishes a member from one group to another. So we need to know that how we do it here, it may not be the same as they do it out there. And this is a fundamental thing that affects the attitude or behavior of members of a group, members of an organization. You get to some organizations and you just see them, maybe they call themselves by first name from the CEO down to whoever. Some will just feel you get to their organizations from as you're coming in, whether when you have moved past the security post, everybody they meet you, oh, good morning, good morning. Whereas you get to some, their noses are in the air. They don't even know whether you're a visitor or what, they just straight face and nothing. It's a culture. They just feel that maybe don't know. I don't want to say something before somebody will quote me. So culture is a web. You got to be inside. You have to be inside to feel, see, smell, touch, and hear and make sense of it. It's a system of shared meaning because, like we always say, when I was growing up, anyway, I'm still young though. When when we were growing up, that one man's meat is another man's poison. The culture of one organization is different from the other. So what they feel is right with them may not be right with you. So it's a system of shared meaning. All of us believe in it. All of us are working towards it. So held by members that distinguishes the organization from other organization. A poor culture can lead to staff disengagement and customer dissatisfaction. So when you don't have a good culture, it rubs off the behavior of the staff or the people inside, their attitude. Okay. You see, some people will say, oh, because they are working in oil company or they're working in the bank, they look down on us, those who are in this public service or the civil service. Is their culture. And when you find yourself there, you see that you go through a transformation and you say, ah, I'm in this place now. So it's very important that we should note that it takes months and years to grasp for some people of how things are done in organization. And we need to be aware of the culture, or else you find yourself on the other side of the table. So culture is seen in different forms. So you see these balls that we have here. Culture radiates through what? Dress code, language, goals, attitude, policies, rules, thoughts, behaviors, everything, and so much more than what we have written here. But let's take a look at attitude and behavior, because the policies and the dress code of some of them, even the language, you see that some cultures are such that it is the way they write that you know that, oh, these people, this organization um would I put it as free or encumbered, or people that they just feel that this place is such that I need to step up. So it's very important that we look at all of this and more to see that culture is something that we need to look at when somebody is behaving in one particular way. So what do? We need to look at it and say, okay, is it from the leaders, or is it the way we have found things within the organization? So, what we need to do as leaders, as HR, we need to lead, to share, to improve, and inspire others so that organization where we find ourselves leading the human resource, leading the employees, we need to manage them well. So, what are we looking at? You are now a leader. As HR, you are a leader. You need to lead, you need to share the vision, whatever policies that come from the boardroom with the employees or those who are our team members. Because now we don't look at employer, employee, we look at all of us as stakeholder in the organization. So we need to share those vision, the policies, so that we'll be able to empower others and get them engaged in whatever that is going on within the system. So please, if you have questions, you can type in the. Mhm. Oh, I've been introduced earlier. Yes, you have the slide later when you register with you have the slide. My name has been I'm sorry, I won't go to that now. You get it on your slide with my profile, short profile. So we need to manage the the people that are working with the organization, not for, but with the organization, for us to be able to uh, manage them for the goals and visions of those who own own or those whether they don't own it, but all of us are stakeholders. We are all team members. So we need to inspire them in order to believe that all of us are there for one another. And eventually when they get engaged, they believe that I need to be there to represent this organization. So as HR, how do we manage different levels of leadership and the expectation of management from those people that we consider leaders or those that consider that are employees of the organization? Look at this pyramid or triangle. On the left-hand side of the screen are the titles that everybody sort of carries in the organization. Then on the right-hand side are those things that you need to do, that as whatever level you find yourself, what are you doing at the center of the pyramid? Then these are the policies or whatever that you need to imbibe so that you'll be able to say, okay, I am the CEO, I am a supervisor, what do I do? Okay, so let's look at the triangle. We'll just take one or two employees that are at the bottom because we're going to break down some of these things later. What do? They perform day-to-day activities. So they see themselves that they are challenged to work in sync with what the organization is thinking about or talking about. So then look at the CEO. What does he do? He doesn't get involved in day-to-day activities. That is gone past that. So what does he do? He sets direction. That is why he's the arrowhead at the point, at the head of at the tip of the pyramid. Okay, visions and values. So he must be trained in that way. So if somebody is going to move from being a supervisor to the executive, he has to be able to say he can manage execution of policies that came from the boardroom, and he'll be able to do what? Move beyond day-to-day day-to-day activities of the organization. So we have to know how to manage the business, live the values, and share vision and make others successful, because it's beyond day-to-day what is going on there and whatever. He's managing execution of policies and performance management for those who are at the managerial level. So we would see this later on. You look at it and see how well are we utilizing these levels in our own organization as HR. Now let's settle down into leadership. So what leadership style are you operating as HR? Look at this. Some of these matrix, some we can use, some we just feel, oh, they're just there for us to understand. So what is leadership style? It's an approach and behavior a leader uses to guide, motivate, and manage their team. So on the right-hand side, these are what type of a leader are you? Visionary, transactional, transformational servant leader, autocratic, democratic, laissez-faire, situational, charismatic, coaching leader. Above all, if your action inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. John Quincy Adams says so. So when we started, I asked the question that if you are a leader that believes in no grief for them, or if you're a type of leader that is saying no grief for them, so where do you place such a leader on this our matrix? I want your questions, answers now in the chat box. For first five people I would take. 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 If you are, no grief for them, leader, where would you situate such a person? Autocratic, fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, autocratic, good, good, lovely. Because he would just tyrannical, autocratic. Yes, he's a tyrannical, autocratic person. So let's look at it and see that no good for them type of leader. His attitude will be that everything I say must be obeyed. She that must be obeyed. That is it. Okay. The boss leader. Yes, he looks at it and say, I shouldn't agree, even if they're saying something or they're coming up with something that is good. He just looks at it and say, I'm the boss here. I'm the not even the leader. He looks at himself, I'm the boss, and I give orders. So that is what he is. So what we are trying to say is that wherever we find ourselves, on whatever position we see that, oh, I am likely to be an autocratic leader, or I'm likely to be a democratic leader, what do you want to do? You have to look at your what we call constituency in Nigeria and see that this leader, we need to manage the people. For what? For results, because you can't do it alone. So we need to look at it. And I'm happy that we all gave the answer as autocratic. Autocratic that whatever I say becomes law. Thank you for that. That means that's a quality that all of us should try as much as possible to drop. If we cannot, please manage to maneuver around all of this, because one thing that we always say in management, modern management, that you cannot just say, I'm a visionary leader, I'm a democratic leader, or I'm a situational leader. We need to look at the people that we're managing. So if your leadership style is toxic, see, I'm looking at someone here. These are people that made names, and they are, one of them is a billionaire. Two here. So let's look at it, or three. So when I see 6 leadership styles of top CEOs, somebody can relate to somebody I want to mention there. I'm sure you will see the person in the new American dispensation. He is there. So you can see. So I'm sure somebody may probably want to share that person's name with us, so we all of us can see it. But I'm sure you are seeing what I'm seeing. So somebody can please type the name. Okay. So is he doing that? He says he's a decisive leader. While Jeff Bezos, he says, is visionary. Can we relate with that person? Let me see. Not on this list. Elon Musk. Thank you. Elon Musk. Donald Trump is not on this list. Okay. See Elon Musk there. Okay. So you see that some of these people, when they are up there, they forget the people down there. What do? They bring about a toxic culture. And a toxic culture will not give opportunity for you to talk. Poor communication from the leader, it is what I say that becomes low. Okay? That is why the world wants to now fight Donald Trump and himself. If you have been following Trump and Elon Musk, you know that Trump said anybody that does not listen to Elon Musk could get fired in his cabinet. So these are some of the things that bring about toxic culture. Lack of work balance. You want people to just toe your line. They should not have no life for themselves. So ignoring employee feedback, overworking them, underpaying employees, tolerating toxic behavior, favoritism, and all of this give room to what? Toxic culture. And by CEOs or management cadre or those in the boardroom that are not monitoring how well are these people. We are not in the slave era. So what do? Where are you on this matrix? Are you a catalyst leader? Are you visionary? What are you? So we need to look at it, because some leaders, we need to examine ourselves. And when we examine ourselves, we're coming back to the catalyst leader. We use 4 ways in examining what we can do, how we can manage our behavior. One is what you call unconscious incompetence. I don't know that I don't know, that I don't have the competence to do the thing. So it's unconscious that I'm incompetent. Then we have those who are consciously incompetent, that they know that they don't know. They don't have what it takes to be able to write the organization, to manage, not right now, to manage the organization. They are conscious of it. So they rely on their team members to assist them to get there, so that eventually they will now move from that conscious incompetence to what? Conscious competence. So they will remove the incompetence from themselves and move to conscious competence. Then now I've learned from my team members, I'm now competent to do what I should do as a leader. So some are leaders, they have what it takes, but is it that they are afraid, or they are unconscious that they have the competence to manage the organization? These are the type of people that will see themselves as, well, as how would I put it now? I can manage this organization well. I didn't know that I have the competency. These are unconscious. It's in them. They can do it, but they were not either given the opportunity or whatever. So you as HR, where are you? Manage. Try to have a soul searching activity to see where am I on this in these 4 areas. Unconscious incompetence. You are not conscious that you don't know what to do, but you find yourself there. And how do you manage that? Or you are conscious that I don't have what it takes to run. as HR. So what do you want to do? You are now consciousness is there. What do you want to do? To raise yourself up, be competent. You want to add skill, reskilling, upskilling, or what do you want to do so that you have the competence? Some are unconscious, they have what it takes, but they do not have the opportunity to show their competence. They just believe that if I'm there, I'll show you. If or they're unconscious that they have that competence. So let's look at who is a catalyst leader. He asks question. You see that this catalyst leader, where do we place him in that matrix? Visionary, situational, servant leader. So you need to look at it. What are those things that I can pick up from here to change my attitude towards those people that are managing for the organization? These are some of the things that some of us don't have. So we need to be conscious to say that I need to step up the game. And that is why we are in this institute. That is why we have giving our all to this program this evening. We can as well be somewhere else enjoying Friday evening, but we are here listening to me. Thank you for that and believing in the institute. So whatever leadership style that we have, catalyst, situational, visionary, whatever it is, wherever we find ourselves, what do we want to do? You need to serve. Service. Service to the organization as well as to the people that we are managing. Unconscious incompetence is when you can what what you do even in your sleep. Unconscious incompetence. Unconscious incompetence is when you can do what you do even in your sleep. To get to this stage, it takes practice to be perfect. Okay, I don't like arguing with my people. Unconscious incompetence. Okay, we will look at it. You can do what you do, even in your sleep. You can do what you do. We will look at that later. And Feyi Kemi, we will talk about it. Tunde Alabi, we'll talk about that today, tomorrow, whenever. Okay, so whatever leadership style we use, it should be that which give direction and that which will not drive talented people out of the door to our business competitors. So whether you are a leader or you are not a leader, please let's look at it. Thank you, Luashim Udusanya. I think what he's trying to say is conscious competence. Okay, so what we are talking about as HR, let's not drive people out of the business to our competitors, because when we are not, when our attitude and behaviors are not right, what we get is that people will leave. Talented people will go out of the organization. They will say, when I leave, let them join my salary to his own. So by that, people will japa from your organization. They will japa from your organization. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for me. Oh, we don't argue. We rub minds. Thank you. Thank you for me. No bad blood at all at all. We are fine. We are together. Okay. Before you become a leader, success is all about growing yourself. But when you become a leader, success is all about what growing others. Because some will say, I've reached the peak. So what do? I need to look back and see those who are going to be there. Some of us have issues with the Gen Zs. But I always tell people, I say, if you have issues with the Gen Zs, remember, the office will outlive the worker. One day, the Gen Zs that we don't want to work with now are the ones that we leave in the organization. They'll be the one to run it. And some of them, most of them, will be successful. They will not run the organization down at all. So we need to serve. Serve now becomes an acronym. Acronym for what? If someone's asked, is autocratic leadership style all negative? No. Can autocratic leadership style be applied in part of a chaotic, chaotic environment? Yes, it can be. However, we don't want it to be an attitude that immediately you come and say the person has come. He doesn't see anything good in us. It is all about him. That is not what we want. Okay, that is not what we want. So you can use it as like modern management. Modern management says one style does not fit all. And as I said before, You navigate through some of this in order to achieve results. And that is what we want from us. So serve now become is an acronym for style, substance, satisfaction, empathy, resourcefulness, initiative to go the extra mile. We need to add value to those that are working with us. Efficiency is not only about us. That is why this Igbo proverb is there. It's not out of the benevolence of the butcher that we get meat, but in serving his interest, he serves our own interest. Because when he goes to kill or he gets a good uh what they call it now, spot or something, I can't remember. Yes, and he gets a good spot from the forest, wherever he got that thing from. He may not be the only one to eat whatever he got from the forest. He will have to sell. So as he's selling, he's also making money into his wallet, and he's also serving our own interests, those of us that cannot go there. So as HR, what we need to do that we need to serve, because when the interest of the butcher is satisfied, we also try to satisfy our own. Ajayi Olumide, in trying to maintain a positive workforce environment, not being rigid most time, gives room for laissez-faire attitude of work force. How do we strike an equilibrium? What you said that what I always say from my own point of view is that you hardly get any leader that is laissez-faire. Maybe it was there when they got this one, because you can't just sit down and see things go wrong and say you are running a laissez-faire attitude, and you can't just be high-handed. Then you say, "Oh, I have to show them that I'm in charge." So whatever situation you find yourself, you have to navigate. I use the word navigate. When you become democratic, when you become not laissez-faire, there's no point. That laissez-faire, we just need to make people to say that you cannot sit down and cross your arms and be looking and saying what will happen next. Even you cannot say you are situational, you cannot say you are democratic, you are not say autocratic or whatever. But please look at that catalyst leader, someone that will make the difference in the lives of individuals and in the lives of the organization. So that as you are serving the interest that I am doing a good job, the organization is also doing a good job. Ma'am, in a situation where one believes that that is a servant leader, but employees under him seem as autocratic, what will be the way out? You should listen to his people. You cannot you cannot separate yourself from the people. That is why some organizations, what do? They do what we call the 360. The 360 is not that you, as the HR or head of a team, will what do you call him, manage the end of year review or whatever review that we do in the organization. Not only you, everybody will also assess you or review your own performance. That's what we call the feedback system. Some of these things are not even in your email or whatever. That's why I try to still advocate the old school method where we have the suggestion box, okay, or faceless appraisal of the boss. People will talk. Some people will say the 360, internal and external, they will appraise your method. They will also say, are you good enough to be moved to the next level of management? So whether you use autocratic for emergency, chaotic situation, you have achieved result. But that is not you all the time. The laissez-faire, I said that one is old mentality. I don't think anybody will sit down and say laissez-faire. So let's quickly look at how do we manage the organization with our attitude, knowing that we need to identify each level, like that triangle that we had before. It has now been broken down into bones, what we call corporate bones. What are corporate bones? There are four. There's what we call the wishbone, the jawbone, the knuckle bone, and the backbone. How can we get bones in organization? Here we are. The wishbone, who are they? The operatives that do the actual work in quantifiable terms in an organization. These are the people that do the day-to-day activity. Oh, yes, exactly. James Bala. Yes. What we said, as I said before, is that one thing, one thing that we need to know is that one style does not fit all. One style does not suit all. So we need to look at it and see what cap can we put on at any particular point in time. So wishbone are those who do what we have at the bottom of that pyramid, do day-to-day activity. They are generally in the junior cadre, but are very crucial to the success of the organization. Okay. Okay. We will get to some of these questions. I don't want to be distracted. I'll come back to them later. They are generally the junior cadre, but are very crucial to the success of the organization. Otherwise, whether success or failure of organization, managers, HR, we must recognize them. Even if you were there before, you cannot go back at a point in time. We can't go back and roll up our sleeves and say, I'm going to do it. No, they are the people that do the day-to-day running of the organization. They're very important. The jawbones are equally very important in organization as they form the supervisory cadre. If you remember that pyramid, we have the supervisory level. What are they? What are they doing? They are the supervisor, foremen, middle level managers, and etc. They are the ones that take care, give instructions to the what? They take instruction from knucklebones and give directives to the wishbone because they are the ones that we see all the time. Go and meet your supervisor, go and meet your teammate. These are the people. They serve as go-between and assess the work of the operatives. So let's look at the knucklebones because we need to identify them and know how you manage these people as HR and your attitude. Some people will just look at, oh, the wishbone, they are the people, they are the people that the union people, they are the ones that want to bring down this organization. If you manage them well, you have an organization that will not have issues with the union, in-house union or out the national. So knuckle bones see to day-to-day running of the business. They form the senior and executive management. If you remember that pyramid, there is one that you have the management. The chief executive officer, managing the director is part of the knuckle bones. What do? They call the shot and make things happen within the organization. They are the drivers of the business. Some of us may fall into this as HR, some of us may fall into the jawbone, but we need to understand that we have to manage, call the shots within the organization when we collect the policies from the boardroom. So they're the drivers of the business. So who are the backbones? They are the owners of the business, managers, owner, president, sponsors, and financiers of the business. They form the board of the governors, directors, and everything. They take major decision on the running of the business. Most time, they may not be known, but are owners of the organization. When the crooks, when push come to shove, or shove comes to push, that's when you get to see them. That's when you see. Then they will now say, "Call HR for me." Call HR, all the people in the boardroom, because most of the time the backbones are not in the boardroom. The knuckle bones are mainly the ones that are in the boardroom, and at times, occasionally, we get the jaw bones in the organization. So, how do we manage our attitude as HR to manage these four levels, the four levels of jawbone, wishbone, knuckle bone, backbone? How do we use our attitude? So we need to know what is attitude in the first place. Okay, some people say your attitude determines your altitude. Is the attitude is defined as what? Persistent tendency to think, feel, and behave in a particular way towards the objects and persons in the workplace. They are the ones that when you say your culture is this and whatever, you need to know, are these people really in sync with our attitude in the organization? So what's the role of attitude in leadership? We need to understand attitude, a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something. Is either positive or negative. There's no there's no way to it. It's either your attitude is negative or positive. Impact on leadership and attitude. How attitude shapes decision making, communication, and conflict resolution. Because if you make the wrong decision and your attitude is not right, your decision is not good enough, what you say may be what they will take. Coming back to say, oh, that was not what I meant, communication breakdown. Conflict will not be resolved. So when you are making decision as a leader, as HR, we need to ensure that when we make the big D, and what's that big D? Is the decision making. That the big D will give us the right choice, and we need to know the timing. Because one thing about attitude is that if you don't manage it well, the timing that you are supposed to be situational, you become autocratic. The time that you're supposed to be autocratic, you now say, let's be democratic. I'm sure most of us followed Trump and Joe Biden's whatever, and the woman that they brought in, Kamala. I say, America is not ready for a female president. The timing was not right. The choice was good, but the timing was not right. So what we need to know is that even some Americans said that they had ice cream president in Joe Biden. Managing the situation, the timing, and the choice is very important as HR. And remember, HR, we are in leadership. So the wrong decision at the wrong time will give disaster. The wrong decision at the right time could be taken as a mistake. Then the right decision at the wrong time is unacceptable because you know what it is. Conscious competence. That's the right decision. But the timing is wrong. It's unacceptable. How can somebody do that? Is known for decisive whatever, whatever, but it's unacceptable. No, 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 that we won't take that. Then the right decision at the right time will be success for whoever that is doing that. So what, as I said, when it comes to positive attitude, is either negative or positive? But most times we always look at the positive mental attitude of fear, what we call PMA. So that positive attitude in leadership is very important. What do we want to get? We want to get the win-win. Whether we take a decision at the right time or at the wrong time, we need to know that something good will come out of it. And how do we get the characteristics of positive attitude? You need to be optimistic, you need to be open-minded, you need to be resilient. That even at the worst situation, you see the silver lining at the end of the tunnel. So what are the benefits that this will give us? People will be willing to work with us. They would look at it and say, this man does not see the worst in us. Even if he does, he finds a way of taking it out on us, or he finds a way of telling us that we don't feel bad. Okay, so with enhances problem solving abilities or capabilities, problem solving capabilities on the part of the leader, you build trust and respect among your team members. So this is a case study I want us to look at. These are people, sorry. These are honorable Nigerians that I want us to look at. Do you know the man? Okay, two of them are in glasses. One is in sunglasses, the other one is in regular glasses. So, do you know the man in suit? Your time starts now. Type it out. The man in Awusa regalia with the sunglasses. Can you tell me? I don't know the voices that are interrupting. No. Okay, someone says some voices are interrupting, not me. Oh, which one is that? The one in sunglasses? Meitama Suile, correct. Then Maitama Sule, the man in suit, fantastic. Tolulokpe Omolaja, fantastic. Amalia Lonosode, fantastic. Great Nigerians. Okay. Then who else? Who else? Oh, I don't place this in HR. Okay. Kamalia Lonosode, yes. What of the lady? Abba, who wrote Okonjo Wala? Dora Akoyede, thank you very much. Dora, yes. Not Okonjo Wala. That's it. You see HR. Then the one in the smiling in the black and yellow. Who's that? Three of them are late. One is still around. Gamaliel is late. Metama Sule is late. Dora is late. Yes. But the other person is still alive. No, not Christopher Collade. No. It should be up. Yes. Dr. Molayole. Dr. Fagbemi, thank you for that. Who says Sonny Ade? Levi Daniel. If I catch you, how can you say? Can you imagine? He said Sonny Ade, King Sonny Ade. Oh my God. Delete. Dr. Fagbemi, thank you for that. Dr. Michael Omolayole is that person in the black and yellow. Levi Daniel, please, please. Sonny Ade, no. Dr. Michael Omolayole. Exactly. Christiana Adejumo, can you imagine? Who said Sonny Ade? You can, I think he has deleted. I told him delete. I told him delete. That's Dr. Molayole beside Dora Akoyele and under Maitama Sole. So thank you very much. So these are examples of successful Nigerians who made their mark in the course of the history of Nigeria. We'll always remember them. So the overview of their leadership styles and achievement, you can see how their positive attitude contributed to their success and to the success of the organizations that they ran. So you can see Guinness, NAFDAC, Unilever, Maitama Sule as a Nigerian representative in the United Nations. So all of them, they made their mark. Okay. When they needed to be firm, they were firm and they did what they needed to do. So negative attitude in corporate leadership. So there's those who believe that they look for faults in people. They don't look at the positive side of life. So they're pessimists. They resist change and feel that why should we change? We've been working this way. Why don't you look forward and see what can be done? Okay, Dunlop, yes, Dunlop. Okay, thank you, Omolaja. Thank you. So we need to manage and lack of empathy. They don't look at this, they say turn by turn. These are some of the people that when wait for your turn. They don't look at what can be done for the organization by them, by the leaders. Consequences for leaders, they create a toxic work environment, high employee turnover, because this young generation was more of an autocratic leader because of the way she ran NAFDAC. That's why people think she was autocratic. No, because people are looking at her in that situation, you can't help. But what of the woman that is there now? Which she says she's autocratic. She's carrying her people along to do the job. To do the job. So if you think she's autocratic in what to who? To her staff or to the public that she needed to protect. So somebody achieve her patience. Olu Muyiwa says, no, she's not. Is it to our people? We're talking about to your people, not to the staffer, not to those out there that she's trying to enforce the law. Okay, so presentation, the slides will be given to her. She was only firm. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you. So anyway, so that we don't create a toxic environment, high employee turnover, and reduce productivity. What we need to look at is that one, as HR, what are we doing? Are you creating a toxic environment? People say, when I leave the organization for you, Shebi, they will join my salary to yours. That's not what we want. That was not what these people ran the organization. They wanted an organization that will succeed. So mention some countries around the world of an effective leader. Don't put Nigeria. Type your answer in the chat room and let's see what some of us will look at. So some countries around the world where they have ineffective leader. Ineffective leader. Okay, situation determine the type of leadership to be applied. Thank you, Salisu Hassan. Somebody is typing Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea. I need two more. I need two more. Sudan. Fantastic. Okay, Negare. Fantastic. Sudan. Under the people. One more. Sudan. South Sudan. Thank you so much All of us believe in that. Ukraine, hmm. Switzerland, I don't know. You have your own opinion. Ethiopia, hmm. Niger, very recent. Okay, you have your own opinion about that. Who is forgetting North Korea, the man that is always threatening the world that if he shoots a missile from wherever he is, it will land wherever he wants to. Cameroon, Venezuela, Congo Democratic Republic. It's okay, but don't forget. Somebody wrote something. I'm from public sector. My boss is not bothered about staff that don't come to work. Okay, we will look at this. Only come to work. He only works with few of us that are committed to work and always present in the office. Where do we place HR in this? Where do we place HR in this? He works with the people that he wants to. Is he achieving is he achieving results? We need to look at that. Maybe tomorrow morning we'll be able to talk about. Please bring up this question tomorrow so that we can dissect it very well with those that are going to be on ground and those that will be. Eritrea, the North Korea of Africa. Yes, I agree with you. Somalia. Rwanda is probably going down somewhere that is not pleasant, but they've been good so far. Somewhere along the way, we are humans and they need to manage. Maybe it's the situation that's making him to change. So you should carry everyone along. Who should carry everyone along? Are you talking of that person that is talking that is Ogene Gari? Is it talking you're talking about? Are you giving a reply or response to Ogene Gari's reply? I guess the question asked earlier. I think so too. So should he carry other people along, those who are not there? You know, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Let me not delay us unnecessarily this evening. So, your attitude is your attitude making waves or ripple? You or your organization, your company, your department, and you. So, which one would you put that are making waves? Mine is just a drop, and once that drop touches whatever, there'll be ripple effect or whatever. So, are you that hurricane, or are you the silent, okay, smooth operator? What do you do in terms of your attitude in the organization? Is your attitude making waves or ripples? So we need to look at this and see what we want to get from this. So we want to look at the B attitude. Okay. For those who are Christian, I'm not trying to let's look at this. You remember the Beatitudes? The Beatitudes. Blessed are those. So the B attitude is what we are looking at now. What are those attitude that we want from you? Blessed are the peacemaker. Blessed are this. So we need to look at it and say, what is the B attitude? Be aware of. Let me see this person. Blessed, yes. Yes, blessed are the peacemaker. They shall be called the sons of God. They shall be called whatever. So the B attitude, be aware, okay, and capture hearts. That is what your attitude should be. You should be aware of other people's feelings, their attitude, care for them, and capture their hearts that wherever they find themselves, they're always thinking, I should add value. Not what do you bring to the table? I should add value each step of the way. So don't build a business. Zig Ziglar says, you build people, then people build the business. So what do you need to do? What are the B attitude? Recognize and focus on the needs of those around us. Learn to recognize our own value and build our self-esteem first, because you cannot give what you don't have. Then help others recognize their value and self-esteem. Commit to a winning relationship. Not that, at any point in time, it's all about you. B marker, empathy. Yeah, yes. Create a winning relationship, recognizing and rewarding excellence. Care for your people and they care about the job. So how do you now retain them? When you care for them and you respect them, they stay on the job and they see that we are all in this together. So what do we do? So an important aspect of leadership is to turn around and see who is following you. Change your attitude. Have more positive mental attitude. Indeed, you have to change. Because the simple truth is what? We are paid to produce results. It is your people who produce results, and it's not only you. So what do? Focus your energy on helping your people to be successful. Because when they are successful, they produce result, and you can be rest assured that things will go on well. So let's take this quotation. I believe the single most important decision I can make on a day-to-day basis is my choice of attitude. It is more important than my past, my education, my bankroll, my successes or failures, fame or pain, what other people think of me or say about me, my circumstances or my position. Attitude is the single string that keeps me going or cripples my progress. It alone fuels my fire and or assaults my hope. When my attitudes are right, there is no barrier too high, no valley too deep, no dream too extreme, no challenge too great for me. So your attitude will determine, as people always say, your altitude. No valley too deep, no dream that you cannot achieve. Because it is always said that you are not more than four persons away from that person that will make you in life. If you go beyond the fourth person, let's assume I want to get to Uncle Bola Ahmed now. That's him. I should know someone, that's me. I should know someone that knows someone that will get me close to him. If I go beyond this level, then I need to work on my attitude. I need to work on my relationship so that I'll be able to get there. If you go on multi-level, then that means you may miss the course of what you want to do. So your attitude will determine job satisfaction for yourself and for those people that are working with you, the job involvement, then organizational commitment, and it will all wrap around the organizational behavior. Some people, we have always look at them and the only thing we can do is to freeze them so that they will be in limbo until we get a cure for their attitude. Why do we say this? There are some people, when you want to correct them, what did they tell you? This person that you are looking at, it runs in my family. That, do you know why they call us Agu? Do you know why they call us Ekun? Do you know why they call us Zaki? Because in our family, we don't agree for them. Mm-mm. That generation is gone. That generation is gone. All of us have come into the new phase of life where we use emotional management. That is why some of us should go for EI, emotional intelligence programs that will change our attitude. Attitudinal training. That Ago, that Zaki, that Ekon, that whatever of those days are gone because those people are not here. Okay? Now, do you believe in? Someone say whether I believe in eye service. There's that noise in the background is not from me. Oh. That is not from my side. Ma, do you believe in eye service in an organization? So, eye service. What I'll just wrap that up by telling you that in an organization, you have to learn to play the office politics. But when you play the office politics, what we do is that I always tell people, ride the tiger, but don't end up in the belly of the tiger. So don't ask me whether that is eye service. But please, what you need to do is that ride the tiger, play the office politics, and you will get there. Okay? Your attitude is very important. Somebody has quoted me well or not. Why are some leaders in HR management not fair and firm in their decision making, especially in public sector, because they're guided by what we call by the civil service rules and regulations. That is why some of them need to manage their decision. You cannot just sack somebody in public sector unless it is gross misconduct. But even before you sack the person, you will have set up committee. There'll be so many things, enough evidence to say, okay, go on suspension first before you, unless it is very gross misconduct. That's when you can say, okay, we are sacking you. But it's not even, it depends on the level of the person before you can sack such an individual. So their civil public service or civil service is guided by rules and regulation. It's not a one-man business. So you can't just wake up one day and say, you remind you of somebody I love to hate. Then you now say, go home. No, you can't. You won't. So how do we do? Transforming your attitude. You need to be self-aware, conscious, competence. Consciously work at it. Be compliant, be smart, be watchful. Thank you, Patience Olumuyiwa. Okay, be compliant, be smart, and be watchful. Ride the tiger. Don't end up in the belly of the tiger. Play the office politics, and you will not get your hands burnt. So self-awareness and reflection, okay, identifying the personal attitude and their impact on your leadership style. Go for self-assessment, get feedback, self-reflection. Because when you look in the mirror and you see that man, you may be the problem. Okay, adopt a growth mindset that I can improve. Because people always say that my yesterday should not be better than my today or my tomorrow. Soul searching, reflection, and see what you can do. Adopt a growth mindset. Challenge your growth. Challenge whatever that is stopping you from achieving. So what do we need to talk about? You need to remember what my great grand uncle said, Martin Luther King Jr. I'm related to all of them because once you're an African, once you're a black man, you're an African. So he was my great grand uncle. He said, if a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets, even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. How many of us will be proud to say that? So strategies for developing positive attitude, emotional intelligence. You need to cultivate emotional intelligence. When I first came across emotional intelligence some years back, I was so thrilled that since that day, you can't get me unless I allow you to. Okay? Somebody cannot get under your skin unless you allow the person to. And you did that for a reason. Okay? You do that for a reason. I'm sure so many of us followed Kamala and Trump. It's just that God says Trump will be there. Kamala was always there to taunt him, and he would just flare up. Are you that type of leader that when you get into the office and they greet you good morning and say, what's good about this morning? Or some people will say, don't talk to him. It seems as if you woke on the wrong side of the bed. Which one is the right side of the bed, for crying out loud? So we need to be able to look at it, cultivate good emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence will get you there. Okay. Then build resilience, technique to manage stress. That even under the stress, you can perform well. And that is what we're talking about. Your recognition of your capability to motivate yourself and others. So let's quickly take this story of how attitudes are developed. It's what you call the killer attitude. Years ago, Paul Harvey described how Eskimos in the frozen northern pole kills wolves. They take a razor-sharp knife, dip it in blood, and freeze it. Next, they bury the handle of the knife in the frozen tundra with the blade sticking up. Wolves, attracted to the scent and sight of the blood, the coldness from the blood-stained frozen blade numbs the wolf's tongue, and by the time the wolf, reaches the blade, he is unaware he's licking a sharp edge, then begins to bleed. As he begins to bleed, he leaks even faster until ultimately he bleeds to death. In many ways, this story describes the way people are lured into the trap of bad behaviors, absenteeism, complaining, lying, misuse of office time and resources. At the early stage, such a worker feels good. But when he becomes neck deep into the bad habit, he or she begins to lose sense of direction, purpose, and reasoning. This may lead to such a person to indulge in stronger and more potent vices until they are permanently hooked and eventually thrown out of the job. Interestingly enough, The wolf and the person with bad habit have another trait in common, each to give little or nothing for a huge, great reward. This is impossible. The proportion of what you sow determines the size of what you harvest. This is what we call the killer attitude, because eventually they may kill the organization. They may not manage the organization well. But you remember what you say, a sore thumb will stick out. And if oil rubs one finger, it will rub off others. And other people are watching. They're watching in the sense that they will look at it. Have you killed him? What have you done to him? At least he's indulging in bad attitude. And that is gradually the organization will be going down the drain. And when the organization dies, they say it's bad management. It could be, but it's also part of the problem of those who are within the system. So as I said before, we need to manage, use our emotional intelligence and see the characteristics of emotional intelligence and see. Yeah, thank you, Busola. You said office politics sounds synonymous to eye service. I said we will manage, I will give something that you can ruminate. I say, which one do you identify with? Office politics, eye service, or riding the tiger and not heading in the belly of the tiger? But there's no way you can run away from office politics. You can never. You will also, there is a program on office politics. We're not going to talk about that now. Naomi Onosoya, there is office politics, and you need to how to manage. There's a program on managing office politics. So, emotional intelligence is know yourself, make effort to be that person that will assist the organization to get there, and also make our people to also not to run away. Thank you. Someone says to him, office politics is not eye service, but but what? Bad governance, or what did he say? Or office politics, body language. Office politics is not eye service, but corporate governance. Is office politics synonymous to body language? No, no. But it could be part of it, yeah. Could be part of it. Body language, it could be part of it. Okay, because you can't put office politics in a tight box and say this is office politics. It's very interesting, like somebody has rightly said here. So we need to know how to manage yourself, because the workplace must be a place of high quality relationship. Emotional management will make you to know what you need to do, manage relationship, self-motivation, good mood management, self-awareness. I'll be able to manage people very well and know when someone is not did not wake up on the right side of the bed. So before we end, let's quickly look at this. Remember, remember the following, that you need to invest in people. Take a deep look at your leadership style, how your associate perceive you, what flaw you can identify in yourself. Remember, I said, when you look in the mirror, who do you see? You see yourself. If you see somebody else, please break that mirror. It's not juju. You are not being truthful to yourself. Okay? Yourself, especially working relationship in your organization. Somebody has something. Is the key for all this successful leader. I agree with you. Okay? So take a look at yourself and see, are you the problem? People judge you by your action, by not by your intention. Life is a lesson in forgiveness. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that that prisoner was you. To get along ahead in life, build a bridge and not a wall. Because with a bridge you connect. But you build a wall, you don't know who's on the other side of the wall. Do not end up like concrete, all mixed up and set. Okay? Strive for positive change. For change is the only thing that is constant. So we need to manage our relationship. You need to invest in people. See the picture in red on the right hand side before you start anything. Remember, how do I finish? See, that man has boxed himself to a corner because of his attitude. He boxed himself to a corner. How is he going to get out of that? All the beautiful work that he's done, he's going to march on them and move on. How would he do that? Unless, I don't know, maybe AI will help him out. So, mankind is a tri-dimensional being: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, The answer to being better than everyone else lies in evaluating yourself in these three areas, and you'll be able to get there. So what do we do? How do you cope with a leader that is so petty? Manage a person through emotional management. TINASA. Okay. Then emotional intelligence helps greatly in our interpersonal relationship with our colleague. A leader needs to know how to manage himself in order to manage others. I agree with you, Shegun. Okay. Okay. Then these three areas affect the pressure, the stress, the distress. Pleasure when we get that we get when we have the right interpersonal relationship. Take a shot of attitude vaccine. How? By taking control of our down and up feelings. This affects the call we make, when we start, how we finish, and the result we obtain from a relationship. Add a dose of integrity, discipline, and organization. Throw in a constant quest for knowledge and learning about how to become even better. And that is why we are here tonight. That is why over 100 of us are here. So, in conclusion, my cousin, remember I said, once you're a black man, you're an African. He's my cousin. He says people should trust you, they should have faith in you and believe in you. So, summary of what we have been talking about is that we leaders, in our lust and desire to assert ourselves and whatever, our inordinate ambition and all those things, we need to manage. Manage. Hello, good evening. My name is Andy. I just joined. Thank you. You have not missed anything. Unfortunately, we mistakenly confused our confidence, resolute, and all other things, and it helps us either to achieve or be there as the way in which we need to manage others, or it will give us selfish hunger, lost desires, and not be able to manage our people well. So the critical role of attitudes in shaping leadership style, practical steps of Nigerian leaders to enhance their leadership through attitude transformation. So the we'll be able to get the job done, not only by ourselves but also by others. So um let's quickly get this. I call it the next CEO. The next CEO will get us to let's look at it as just give me a minute. While I'm looking out for that, please can we um can we get our questions ready? Can we get our questions ready? And we get there. So let's look at the CEO. Let me see what question that someone has for me. It's knowing that you don't need to say what is on your mind at certain time, no matter how true it may be. Man, please, is it possible for one of us to get this? Oh, sure, you will. Man, I really just learned a lot. Thank you so much, madam. Please, can we get the man? Yes, you will once you are able to. You are part of this. Um, you register with them and you get there. So let's quickly wind down this training by looking at this man that is called the next CEO. The next CEO will give you we give you a takeaway from here, a takeaway, and you will not be disappointed as we go. A successful businessman was growing old, and he knew it was time to choose a successor to take over the business. Instead of choosing one of his directors or his children, he decided to do something different. He called all the young executives in his company together. And what did he do? He said, it is time for me to step down and choose the next CEO. I've decided to choose one of you. The young executives were shocked, but the boss continued. What did he say? I'm going to give each one of you a seed today, a very special seed. I want you to plant the seed, water it, and come back here 1 year from today with what you have grown from the seed I have given you. Okay, now, so let's see what happened. These are the seeds. Then I will judge the plants that you bring, and the one I choose will be the next CEO. One man named Jim was there that day. He, like the others, received a seed, went home excitedly, told his wife the story. She helped him to get a pot, soil, and compost, and he planted the seed. Every day, he will water it and watch to see if it had grown. After about 3 weeks, some of the other executives came began to talk about their seeds and the plant they were beginning to grow. Jim kept checking his seed, but nothing ever grew. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks went by, still nothing. By now, the others were talking about their plants, but Jim didn't have a plant. He felt like a failure. 6 months went by, still nothing in Jim's pot. He just knew he had killed the seed. Everyone else had trees and tall plants, but he had nothing. Jim didn't say anything to his colleagues. However, he just kept watering and fertilizing the soil. He so wanted the seed to grow. A year finally went by, and the young executives of the company brought their plans to the CEO for inspection. Jim told his wife that he wasn't going to take any empty pot. But she asked him to be honest about what happened. Jim felt sick to his stomach. It was going to be the most embarrassing moment in his life. But he knew his wife was right. So he took his empty pot to the boardroom. So what happened? Jim arrived. He was amazed at the variety of plants grown by the other executives. They were beautiful in all shapes and sizes. Jim put his empty pot on the floor, and many of his colleagues laughed. A few felt sorry for him. When the CEO arrived, he surveyed the room and greeted the young executive. Jim tried to hide in the back. To hide in the back. My, what great plants, trees, and flowers we have grown, said its CEO. Today, one of you will be appointed the next CEO. All of a sudden, the CEO spotted Jim at the back of the room with an empty pot. He ordered the financial director to bring him to the front. Jim was terrified. He thought the CEO knows I'm a failure. Maybe he will have me fired. When Jim got to the front, the CEO asked him what had happened to his seat. Jim told him the story. Hmm. The CEO asked everyone to sit down except Jim. He looked at Jim and then announced to the young executive, "Behold, your next chief executive officer. His name is Jim." Jim couldn't believe it. Jim couldn't even grow his seed. How could he be new CEO? The others said. Hmm. The CEO said, 1 year ago today, I gave everyone in this room a seed. I told you to take the seed, plant it, water it, and bring it back to me today. But I gave you all boiled seeds. They were dead. It was not possible for them to grow. All of you except Jim have brought me trees and plants and flowers. When you found that the seed will not grow, you substituted another seed for the one I gave you. Jim was the only one with the courage and honesty to bring me a pot with my seed in it. Therefore, he's the one who will be the next chief executive officer. What's the moral of the story? Share the lesson you learned from the story with your friends. Let's learn more from one another. So, what is the moral of the story? If you plant honesty, you will reap trust. If you plant goodness, you will reap friends. If you plant humility, you will reap greatness. If you plant perseverance, you will reap contentment. If you plant consideration, you will reap perspective. If you plant hard work, you will reap success. If you plant forgiveness, you will reap reconciliation. Be careful what you plant now. It will determine what you will reap later. Whatever you give to life, life gives back to you. Live your core values and reap the returns. That is how we'll end our discussion this evening. Thank you. See you next time. Be upstanding as in winner. Okay, never compromise on what is good to what is not good. Honesty and integrity, and that is part of the of these are the hallmark of the hallmark of the hallmark of sorry of a leader: honesty and integrity. Because for that you'll be able to manage the people that you have. We talked about trust. You see, these are the hallmarks of a good leader. You don't have to say I'm democratic, I'm catalyst, I'm transactional, I'm whatever, and all those things. They are simple, basic things that we need: integrity, trust, and being truthful. When you need to hit the nail on the head, please go ahead and do so. The slides will be shared, and we'll be able to get what we want. We'll be able to get what we want from the this thing. So I have just 5 minutes more, and we are done. So is worthwhile lecture. Thank you so much, and we'll see tomorrow. The person that asked the question earlier that is in public service or something, that said, please, okay, that we talk about that tomorrow, and we see what we can talk. Bring it up tomorrow, and all of us will discuss it so that people can go and rest. We started late, and we are closing early enough. Thank you. That's about 5 minutes to 10. Am I right? Yes, 5 minutes to 10 or 4 minutes now. So thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow by God's grace. Our national coordinator will tell us when we are going to start and what we expect tomorrow. Thank you for listening. I do appreciate your time, and I do appreciate you giving your 1.5 hours to us for this evening at after the work we have gone through today. So thank you so much. So thank you. Madam Tessie, are you still with us?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you once more. Thank you, ma'am, for a wonderful presentation and for sharing your valuable insight with us. Your expertise and enthusiasm have been truly inspiring. Would like to bring this section to a close. Thank you all for your active participation and engagement. We appreciate your time and commitment. Until tomorrow, good night. Sorry, for the physical induction is 10 a.m. tomorrow. The online induction is 11 a.m. Physical induction is 10 a.m. The online induction is 11 a.m. Thank you all for your time. Good night. God bless you. Thank you.